Hello, welcome back to BLENDERSUSHI live noding. In this video, I'm going to take you to create like a procedural tower like this. This was actually done a few years ago in Maya. It was like a kind of like a once-off script in Maya, and I saw this work again that I did a while back ago, and then I thought maybe this is something that I could recreate using animation nodes and Sverchok, and even maybe kind of make it better in a way. So I have this funny idea. Um, Let me close Safari, and we have two options basically. I have this idea: either we start with a shape, like a flat shape, and we extrude it, or we can start with a text. I think both of them can work. If I start with a text, for example, and let's just use a Blender default font, it's okay. Let's say we start with something like this, just Blender. We know that the text can be extruded, and the cool thing is it also can be beveled. That's kind of the point of revelations when I found out, okay, we can actually do this, and we simply just need to use array, and the array itself has this relative offset, and we can just offset this guy in the Z, and then we can generate building like that. So it's that simple. It's really that simple. Although of course we probably want to have details here where it's not, instead of beveled, it should be pointing outward, but that's a different kind of detailing that we can do. And the bottom part can be wider somewhat, and the top part should be more like a building. But anyway, there's I kind of like this kind of look. It's kind of like it's very simple. It's just a stacking of building, and I was wondering if we can use Sverchok and animation nodes, both of them, to generate this kind of look, and but maybe kind of more randomized like that. And in terms of height, I don't know, at the moment it looks like maybe like a Las Vegas kind of hotel. It looks from far away it might look like an apartment building, but yeah, maybe we can work with this idea. Okay, let's try it. Start with new fresh Blender. I'll hide everything else and delete the box. I'll go to compositing layout, and I will start with Sverchok because I want to start with by generating a random shapes. So this is gonna be animation nodes and Sverchok stack tower. Okay, so Sverchok, what's the easiest to make a shape? I think we can simply use a circle. Okay, circle, save, and by default circle is just looking like a circle, of course, but we can easily randomize the shape by using something like randomize input vertices, and if we just randomize it in the X and Y, you should get something like this. If you see like something that looks not quite right, something like that, you can actually turn on N-gon tessellation, but it really doesn't matter. It's just the preview. If we bake this, it looks correct. Okay, so I guess we can use this. We don't need that many points, maybe 12 is enough. So just random shapes for the building, maybe not too much, just enough random shapes. Yeah, we can also use polygon. There's another generator, N-gon, that's probably also nice to have to use. Either one of these should do. I guess I'll just use circle for now. And with this circle, I want to extrude it in Sverchok, so that we can use the relative offset thing in the array modifier. So extrude. Luckily, we have these extrude separate faces that work really well for face, because it's gonna extrude it and kind of separating the face. And in this case, it's kind of perfect for what we need. It's very simple, just like a tile, kind of like, and you can randomize the height of the tile as well. If you imagine this is just a single slice of floor of building, I guess we can work with that. So save this. We have our tile ready, and I will use a frame info, plug into the seed. What's gonna happen here is it's gonna generate a new shape on every frame, and I really like this kind of workflow. I can bake every frame using animation nodes, but I kind of like doing this manually. So I just make 6 of them, and I'll stop it, and I turn off the Sverchok, and now we have this guy. 4, 6, yes, just 6 random shapes that we can actually duplicate and yeah, do whatever to it. We basically at the moment have something like this, so I'm gonna show it to you, our plan. So if you imagine these shapes, this tile shape is like this cube. If I just quickly scale this down, okay, just something like that. If we use Blender modifier and use a bevel, okay, so we have that shape. We can control the bevel width. Okay, make it just a little bit like that, so just it has kind of edge details there. And if we use the stack, the arrow stack going up, we basically can have our building, or our just a super simple building. Yeah, so even though we probably want to change the top bit and the bottom bit, this is kind of the basic idea, and it's good. You can have multiple of this and just randomize the count, super simple, but it's kind of robust as well. And that you can actually use this guy in animation nodes and just applying it to all this guy. Okay, so this is gonna be our master. So this is our master, and we're gonna instance it to this guy. And these shapes can be, at the moment we only have 6, but we can have as many as we want. And you can generate it using Sverchok, and then you can then apply this into each one of these and randomize the size. That's exactly the whole plan. It's so simple. I wonder why I never thought of this earlier, but I think it was like yesterday I realized we can do this quite easily. So let's do it. Animation nodes. We're gonna use loop today, back to version 1.6. Let's grab this guy. Just for example, we only have 6 shapes, so group it, and objects from group, and grab this object, so we know we are working with all these 6. And this guy is gonna be the instance guy, so objects instancer, just grab it, and then how many instance, it depends on how many objects we have in the group. Just plug this in, get list length, and we know we're gonna need a full copy and deep copy, because when we tick those two, we're really gonna generate for any objects with all kind of modifier here will get copied, and and we can also change the source data into this tile. So it's really simple. So we have object list. This is our instance. For the iterator, this is gonna be our original source, so I'm gonna plug this into that. This is gonna be source, and here's where the magic's gonna happen. Object transform output, and we also need a object copy object data, and all we need to do is plug in the source into this guy and the instance into this guy, and voila, we got it. It's super simple. For the location, I can first hide this guy first. 1, 2, 3. Let me move that aside and get the original source. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Move it to another layer, and with this guy we can maybe arrange it in the grid or just randomize. I think randomize position, random vector, plug in the seed here, plug in the vector there, but it's random and overlapping, and it's a bit like that. Maybe vector out, separate vector and combine vector, but only in X and Y. We don't want the Z. So we got something like this, and we can randomize the scale or do whatever, or back to Sverchok and use a different shapes. That might be a good idea. So this is our master. We just put it on a different layer. So there you go. That's a 6 tower, all in the same size, same height. It's a bit boring at the moment, but we can add more randomization. So with this guy, if we check, each one of them have the bevel and the array modifier applied already, thanks to animation nodes. What we can do next is to just randomize the count. Okay, we can do that using animation nodes as well, as you already know. Just right click and copy the data path and jump into animation nodes and use the object attribute output. Just paste it here. So if we have the modifiers array count in this node, we can simply pass in a value, maybe range integer. Actually I'm gonna use random number. Plug in the seed there. So random number will be between 0 and 1, and we just need to map it into number, new number, maybe between 10 and 20. So the tower will have between 10 and 20 stack. Plug it in there, and we can have a look at the result. So it's really that simple. It's so simple that I was kind of mind blown by this. There you go. That's pretty much done actually. But if you want to see more tricks, we can go back to Sverchok and maybe create more random shapes. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. So instead of circle, we can probably use the other one. N-gon. plug in a vertices there, polygon there. So n-gon is more like a, yeah, it's more random. We can have different radius, different sides, randomize these shapes, and randomize the seed. We can shift it. Whoops, no. So yeah, I guess this will work quite well for us. Let's use random. Create random numbers, just a count. Just remap this. It's gonna be between from 0 to 1, between 4 and 8. Plug into the radius. No, actually, plug into the sides. Randomize the seed, and we can have that kind of random shapes. What else? Frame. Plug in this into the seed, and okay, we have random shapes. That's cool. We also can randomize the height slightly. So let's do that real quick. Let's plug in this to the seed. Plug it into the seed. And this height should be between 0.2 and 0.6 maybe. Plug this in there. Okay, so now it has random height for per tile, and it has also has random shapes and vertices, just for the basic shapes for our building here. Okay, maybe it's too high. Yeah, something like that. We can bake it. I'm gonna just use this kind of method of baking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can also use the matrix method, but it doesn't matter. Let's grab this guy, hide the Sverchok shape generator, select this and group it, and back to animation nodes. Just grab the new group, and there you go. That's our new building. It's really that simple. I have not tried this with a text. I think it shouldn't be much different. Let me see. Should I do the texting, or just leave it here and do the text one next time? Really, with this stack of building, we can actually do a little bit more. Let's say if I use this guy, reset the position, and perhaps I'm gonna put it in layer 3 and then work here. If I create duplicate of this and go inside into the edit mode and then scale the Z and back to object mode, here I think we can really add more details. So this doesn't need the bevel, something like that, kind of give a more fake details, but it works quite effectively. Maybe increase the count, maybe something like that. Really, what next we need is just over the bottom part of the building and the top part, and we have something that's more complete. And the top part usually slightly smaller, and we can edit it, maybe do a simple extrusion. And if we really want, just add another cube, place it on the top, and just something like that. That's our super simple building, but that's working really well. Maybe this, I need to be more precise, so it's 30 count, 30 here, adjust the offset. So that's more kind of complete kind of buildings, even though it's a super simple. Maybe adding windows detailing and adding roads, but that's exactly one type of building. And if we apply that into these guys, maybe we can have the whole city with a boring building, but it works effectively. Yeah, so hopefully this video is useful for you. It's really super basic, but give it a try. Leave comments and like the video if you like it, and subscribe to this channel, and hopefully I make more video like this in the future. Thank you.